Namaste, namaste. Happy New Year to everyone out there. This is the first Zoom yoga session of 2024, and it's Blue Monday. So I thought I would start you guys off with a short Monday morning mobilization practice. You don't really need any equipment for this, and you could do it anywhere. But if you do have a couple of yoga blocks, then for those who prefer bringing the floor up to where their hands get to in a lunge, then that might be quite useful. We're going to start just with finding whatever space you're in, standing nice and tall, and we'll do some neck movements to ease out tension from the neck and shoulders. So if you stand as tall as you can and maybe just bring your chin back a little to find that length in the back of the neck. Allow your right ear to come towards your right shoulder. You don't have to force it down, just take it to wherever it naturally goes. And make sure that your left shoulder hasn't crept up there, that it's stayed down. And then here in this position, just a gentle lift and lower of the chin, as if you were nodding your head, just nice and slow. If it doesn't feel comfortable to move from this position, simply holding that sideways stretch. I'm just doing about 4 or 5 of these. I'm going to do one more because I've not been counting. And then from a more neutral sideways position, come back to the center. Just notice how that feels in your body. And then we'll do the same thing again, standing tall, retracting the chin, left ear to left shoulder, feeling that sense of length, dropping the right shoulder towards the floor, and then a gentle lift and lower of your chin. And you can really feel that sensation moving into the side of the head, maybe under the ear or the jaw, all the way around that whole right side of the neck into the chest, the shoulder, the upper back. Just noticing those sensations. Let's do one more here. And then bringing your head back to a more neutral spot, coming back to center. Just giving your shoulders a quick roll, making sure that that hasn't created any additional tension or discomfort for you. We're going to do a similar thing. So standing tall, retract your chin, take your right ear to your right shoulder, drop your left shoulder to the floor, and this time gently turning the head from left to right. And it's really gentle, really slow, as if you were shaking your head to say no. Just aiming for about 4 or 5 of these. This is number 3 for me. I've been counting. I'm just going to do one more. And then from your head in a more neutral position, coming back to center. And then same thing to the other side. Retract the chin to find that length first in the neck. Left ear to left shoulder, drop the right shoulder to the floor. And then a gentle turn of the chin towards the right and towards the left. Just a little shake, really slow, really steady. And it doesn't have to be a big movement, it can be really small. Again, finding those sensations. Where does the movement go to in your body? Notice if one side is better than the other. And then from your head in a more neutral spot, come back to center. Just feel that you can move your head in any direction to ease out of the practice, and notice if you feel like you've let go of some tension. That would be great. And then we're going to roll our shoulders just a few times in each direction. We could roll the opposite way as well. I'm doing a little bounce in my knees. I don't know why, but if it feels good to you, you can carry on and do that too. And then we're going to do a little movement for the upper back. So widening the arms and then drawing the backs of the hands towards each other in front of the body, chin to chest, maybe rounding the spine, bending the knees. And then standing tall as you draw the elbows back. Take the hands behind you, lift the chin, turn the palms to the ceiling. Round through the spine, draw the backs of the hands towards each other, scoop your belly in, chin to chest. And then standing tall, elbows back, reaching the arms behind you, turning the palms up, maybe looking up. From the side, it looks like this, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, scoop belly in. And then standing tall, reach the arms back, lift the chest, lift the chin, turn the palms upwards. Exhale as you round through the spine if you want to coordinate breath and movement. Inhale as you stand tall. And let's do 3 more and see if we can get a little bit of a wave going on through the body. So you can speed it up enough that you feel that you're continuously moving. And we'll do just 1 more. Rounding. And standing tall. And to finish, bring your head to neutral, turn the palms and float the arms down to the side. You might give yourself a little dancing shoulder from there. Very nice. And then we'll move into the hips. So we're going to start by leaning the hips towards the right side. You can adjust your feet. If you need a wider base to feel more stable, that's great. If you want to do this with the feet slightly closer together, that's fine too. A little firmness in the belly, leaning the hips to the right and then to the left. So a real I don't know, I think of this as being quite an old-fashioned side stretch, but we're just mobilizing. We're not looking for super, super stretchy, but just movement that feels nice and easy. And then when you're ready, you can change that to moving front and back. And you can see that I'm moving my whole body. You might feel your buttocks gently activating as you move forwards, your belly muscles gently activating as you move backwards. And then we'll put the whole thing together and do nice circling of the hips. I'm circling to the right first, but it doesn't matter which way you're going, as long as you remember in 1 more circle to change directions and go the other way. Very nice. And remember to choose a movement that serves your body. It doesn't need to be the biggest movement in the world. We'll do 1 more before we find our way to upright. Relax the arms for a moment, give the shoulders perhaps a little shrug, maybe a little dancing shoulder. I really like to do that. It helps me to release from here. Then we're going to do similar hip movements, but try to isolate it to just the hips. So hands on hips, maybe a little softness in the knees, swinging the hips to the right and then to the left. So we're pushing into the feet a little bit more. The upper body is quite stable from the waist up. If I was stood behind a desk, you wouldn't know that I was wiggling my bottom from side to side. So that's the kind of action that we're looking for. A little bit side to side. And then we'll come back to the center and we'll do the same thing front to back. A tuck under and a tuck back. A little softness in the knees here allows your pelvis a little bit more room to move. If you try and do this with straight legs, it won't work so well. A little soft in the knees, tucking under, tucking back. There we are. And again, we're going to put the whole thing together. So coming to center, that softness in the knees, and we're going to circle the hips. It doesn't matter which direction you go in, because we're going to do both. But trying to keep that sense of stillness in the upper body. And if you like, you can reach your arms out to the side. Sometimes that helps because we use our peripheral vision to see if our hands are moving, if our shoulders are moving, and going the opposite way as well. Good. Nicely done. Let's do 1 more in this direction. And then coming back to the center, just standing tall, softening the shoulders. We're going to come back to the shoulders now that we've done some movement with the bottom of the spine to do some big arm circles. So you can start by circling both shoulders backwards. And we're trying to sort of feel how it feels to move the shoulders. And then we can use the elbows to make those circles a little bit bigger. So nice bent elbows, maybe feeling the space underneath the arms, down the sides of the body. And then if it feels good, you can use your whole arms. It helps to cross the arms in front of the body. And as you open the chest, draw the hands back behind the body a little if you can. If you're really fancy, you can cross the arms the opposite way every time. And feel free to let the rest of your body move a little bit. So it's okay to move your head, not keep things rigid. It's okay to soften your knees. Let's do one more of these. Float the arms down to the side, beginning to feel like we've got some energy going on in the body. Just checking the time because Zoom full class starts in a few moments. And we're going to come to really find our weight in our feet. So a little bounce of the weight from side to side, and then see if you can find center with the knees a little buoyant. So not super bent, but not rigidly straight. Nice and firm in the belly, and just gently twist from side to side into Kati Chakrasana. And as you twist from side to side, allowing the arms to be loose and heavy. So after those shoulder rotations, if you feel that you've got any effort left in your shoulders or the muscles that support them, then this will really help to release that out, keeping the arms loosey-goosey, wrapping the body, tapping the body. And if it feels good, you can begin to resist the twist by trying to keep your hips facing to the front, maybe pressing into the feet a little bit more, and moving the upper body into the twist a bit more. But you don't have to be rigid, just have that sense of having to use the muscles in the center of the body. And after we've done that for a few moments, we can free the feet. So we do a little gentle twist from side to side, but that leg that we're turning away from almost follows us. I often teach yoga to golfers. This is a little bit like the action of a golf swing in the low body. Only a little bit, 10 minutes. And then we can add, if you'd like to, you can add a soft bend in the knees. In the center, bounce and twist, bounce and twist. And if it feels good, you can touch the opposite shoulder in front of you and the opposite hip behind you, or aim in that direction, just to get a little bit more movement across the chest and the upper back. And you can do this for as long as you like, but today I think that's enough of this particular short practice, otherwise it becomes a very long practice. So releasing your bounce, just turning from side to side, and then bringing your feet to steadiness and letting your body lose its momentum a little at a time until you're back to standing steady. When you stand steady, stand tall, notice the effect of the practice already, that thrumming vibration of energy through the body. Rolling your shoulders a few times. And then we're going to come down to the mat to do just a little bit of work on the hands and knees. So coming to your cat position, we're going to place the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, or wherever it suits you. A little lift in the belly here, and just a couple of rounds of looking forward to lift the chest, lift the tailbone, and then looking under the body, scooping the belly in, chin to chest. Gliding the shoulder blades down to open the chest, pressing the floor away from you to round through the upper back. One more like this. And then here, we're going to come back to neutral and just step the left foot forward. So we come into this lunge action, and you can use blocks here. You don't have to if you haven't got them, it's not a problem. But from the lunge, we're going to gently ease the hips back a little bit, ease the hips forward a little bit. So you don't have to have a straight leg in the front leg if that's just not where your body is today, or in this moment. You may need more of a warm-up. And you may want to play with having the toes pointing forwards as you go with the hips backwards, or flexing through the heel of the foot, whichever of these suits you. The next time you bring your hips back, just giving a little wiggle from side to side, softening that front knee if it helps. And then we're going to come all the way forward, lose the blocks for a moment, just widen that left leg. And if it's comfortable, you can straighten your back leg. You don't have to, so you can do this with the leg down as well, the knee down as well. Have the right hand on the floor, and we're just going to reach the left arm up. And here we're trying to reach that arm behind the body. So we really open this twist towards that left thigh. Firm in the belly, firm in the feet, and then gently draw the left elbow towards the left ankle. Now, early in the morning, you might only get a little bit of the way down. Don't force it, but if you can, just ease into your hips to let that elbow come down, and then reaching back up again, really opening across the chest, and elbow to ankle, or elbow to floor if you can. One more time, really pressing into the right hand as well, elbow to floor. We're going to take the left hand to the floor, step back into a plank pose, knees down, give ourselves a little side cat wiggle, wiggle from side to side. And then do the same thing with the right foot. The right foot coming forward, blocks if you want them, and we're easing the hips backwards and forwards, pressing into the legs for support, using the belly muscles a little. You don't have to straighten that front leg. You can flirt with the toes pointing forwards if that feels good. You're just trying to ease some movement into the body. The next time the hips are back, just wiggling the hips from side to side, getting that sense of the length on the right thigh, the back of the right thigh, just moving a little. And then coming forward into your lunge, losing the blocks, leaving the left hand down. If you want to, you can straighten the left leg. It's entirely up to you. And we're raising the right arm up. So we look to the right, that arm comes behind us if possible, really using the space in the upper back. And then drawing the right elbow towards the mat. It might not go all the way. You might need to drop your hips a little bit. You might need to stay a little bit higher up. Two more like that, opening the right arm all the way around the body if possible. A little firm in the belly to support. Right elbow towards the right ankle. One more time, really pressing into the left hand, using the traction of that arm on the floor to ease yourself around. And then one more time. Then taking the right hand to the mat, step into plank, knees to the mat. Give yourself a wiggle in any way that feels good. And you are set up for your day. Hopefully you feel amazing. You might need to give your wrists a little roll. But I hope that this has set you up for a fantastic day ahead. Remember that you can do any other of the short practices on the Contented Yogini channel on YouTube. They're all free and available to use anytime. I wish you a fantastic day and a fantastic 2024. Namaste.